I think we're going to have an oracle chats where we talk about different divinatory tools. Hello, everyone.
I was just watching a thing on onyx. Have you
Cool.
heard of the throwing stones that were onyx? They're in the Jewish faith.
No, I didn't even know that they had throwing stones.
I think they're Omen and Thurman. And it was funny because I was watching a documentary on it, and this documentary is very Christian based. Not once did they call them runes. They actually put the runes as sticks the Vikings used to throw. And I was like, wow, this is really disrespectful.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, interesting because some of them were made of wood, but they weren't sticks.
They weren't sticks. They're carved. My husband has carved his own runes and carved me witches' runes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm spoiled.
That's so cool. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Really cool. I didn't even know there was witches' runes. And what I
didn't
find out too within the witches' runes, the symbol I use for my business, it's in them.
No
it's
way.
A symbol for Brigid too. And I didn't realize that.
Isn't that something? We're going to have an oracle chats where we talk about different divinatory tools. And I think that you could bring
excellent idea.
I think we'd have so much fun. I love talking about different tools that we can use to tap into intuition.
Because there are so many, and so many people that I read that I talk to them about, because so many people only know about tarot.
Yep.
When it comes to cards, there's so many different types of cards. Yep. For some reason, when I read people and they show me different modalities, they show me the pendulum.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't usually see that as a modality because I see it not like the Ouija board, but in the same sort. Like when I use my pendulum and I ask a question, I don't really follow the advice. Do you?
So let's talk about pendulums because I love this topic. So pendulums are a form of dowsing. So that puts them in the same realm and category as muscle testing, sway testing, dowsing rods, witching rods. And they are a visual representation of your subconscious or of your intuition. They aren't generally moved by like spirit. So they would definitely be different from Ouija board because Ouija is spirit, or I've had Ouija experiences with angels. I had a lot of Ouija experiences with angels.
Really? And I've only ever experienced human beings pushing the Ouija.
Can I tell you a Ouija story?
Go right ahead.
Amazing. So when I was oh dear. So my Ouija, if I can share, the Ouija was pretty significant for me when I was 14. Again, like this was a time when I was really opening things up and I was experimenting with cards and learning cards, and a girlfriend and I would have sleepovers and we would do the Ouija until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning or sometimes later. And so I would write down all of the messages that we had coming up, and the Ouija would tell me that it was an angel that was coming in. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Didn't know anything about it at the time. And looking back at the messages that I got, keeping in mind that this was back in 1994, and I was told that I was going to meet my partner online. At that point, online was a printer. Remember the dot matrix printers with the paper and you had to rip the things down?
I remember them. In 1994. I was not 14. So yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, the dot matrix printers.
My university career.
Yeah, they were. I think I printed one paper for university on the dot matrix printer because we didn't have the other one up.
All attached to each other too.
Yeah, and you had to print. You had to pull off the tabs. So yeah, like online meant that the printer was going to work, and offline meant that it wasn't going to work. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm going to meet a guy through a printer?
Okay. Okay. See, and I have a very different reaction to Ouija boards. One was
Yeah.
actually brought into this house, and I put it outside the house, and I got rid of it immediately,
Yeah.
which is weird. Now, when I look at it, I think, well, the Ouija board does not carry evil.
Mm-hmm.
The person using the Ouija board could instill evil, but
Mm-hmm.
I still didn't want it in my damn house.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, I think one of the things that's important to recognize if you are going to go into that realm is that it's important to make sure that you're safe, that you put up rules and boundaries around
Mhm.
who can come in. And I don't know how we came to like thinking about this, but we set those boundaries before we started, and so we never had negative experiences with the Ouija board.
Okie dokie. And actually, most people who do Ouija board are hoping to get some sort of evil spirit. So Alice
That
Cooper
could
got
be
his
part of the problem too.
Alice Cooper was the young girl that the band
Yeah.
would connect with through the Ouija board.
Really?
And Fournier, the lead singer, took
Yeah.
his name, and that is why he is known as Alice Cooper.
Really? I had
Yeah.
no idea.
I did a report on Alice Cooper once in high school. So that's why I know that. Because I like to do reports on things that would piss off my teachers. So,
all of these high school references coming in.
oh man, we could do a whole thing on my high school. Oh, Corrine asked yes or no on Waterford crystal pendulum. Well,
Beautiful.
smashing. That's snazzy. I
That's
use
awesome.
everything as a pendulum. I'll
So,
show people all the time if I have a necklace on.
yep.
Do the pendulum.
Yep.
Because, and that's actually what I say to them. I say, if anything, know that it's your inner power.
Absolutely.
That I can say round and round, and it'll go round and round.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
Oh yeah, we totally have to do a whole show on
the extras.
On the tools and stuff, because there's so much. I teach courses that are several hours long about each of these different things. It is so much fun. There's so much to talk about. We should do it.
Yes.
Oh,
The spirit board.
yes.
I use this. It looks exactly like a Ouija board.
Oh, so do you use it with a pendulum?
Yeah. And
Beautiful.
it came with the pendulum. And I got it at Lobelia's Lair, which is now called Aura. She's
haven't
Aura something.
I haven't been down in a long time, but it's in the old city quarter in Nanaimo.
Yeah, you know, Lobelia's Lair was kind of like a lair.
Yeah, it was really witchy. It was really
Everything's
cool.
white. Now.
Oh, interesting.
All white and glass and things like that. It's a very different vibe, but it's still a lovely vibe.
Yeah.
Like she had to make it her own. Couldn't still be Auntie Eileen's. My hair's falling out. Yeah. You all know I'm having a hair time. Yeah, and it has a goodbye and a hello. And this one I bless it all the time.
Yep.
I keep it where I do my reading so it stays with good energy.
Beautiful.
So this is kind of like a Ouija board, but see,
yep,
the pentagram, the 5-pointed star. So I see it as being good.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, when I used to do my psychic play groups in the evenings, I had a really awesome family of women. It was a mother, daughter, and granddaughter who would come, and they did something called Spirit in the Glass. And so what we would do is we would write out each letter on a piece of paper and a yes and a no, and we turn a glass upside down. So often like a little custard cup would work really well. Good, you're back. You were frozen. And yeah, just briefly, just with your hair. It was very beautiful. and you'd put a finger, each person would put a finger on the glass, so it's very similar to the Ouija board idea, only you still had other people, and it was something that we made with paper, and it worked beautifully. Okay,
how is the spirit board different? Excellent question, Chris. Well, I actually think because the intention behind it is different.
Yeah,
and I got it at Lobelia's, where it's just a Wiccan based place, so I don't and it is built. You can buy a Ouija board at Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm.
Just right there. You can buy a Ouija board at Toys R Us. It just seems, like something that could be. If this is sitting in a metaphysical shop, I don't see as many different types of folks being able to put their, I want to say juju on it, but that seems racist. So I don't want to say that. But people use that word all the time. Is it though? I don't know. It seems intolerant to me. To me, that seems like people making fun of religions like voodoo.
Mhm.
And I don't think you should make fun of other religions or belief systems because every one of them is
Absolutely.
valid.
Absolutely.
Anyway, okay.
So my thought and take on that is kind of like wearing used clothing or previously owned clothing. Is the person who wore it would have had their own energy and vibration and stuff, and I am always going to clear it.
Yeah.
And so I see exactly the same thing with the tool. Like for me, a tool doesn't need to be something that is perfect, because I'm always going to clear it. I'm always going to set intention with it, and I'm always going to invite in my angels and helpers. So like we're talking about pendulums, and Corrine has her Waterford pendulum, and you and I use necklaces, but I've also used like a string and a paperclip, or a string and my car keys.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be something that is special and sacred.
No, anything that dangles can be used as a pendulum. Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you buy new cards, because when I used to buy cards, I would always sit them down with a crystal on top of them before I did anything with them.
Yeah.
I need them to be blessed, acclimatized. It's almost like when you buy new flooring,
Yeah.
you actually need to have it sit in your house for 24 hours so it
Right.
acclimatizes. So it's a
Yeah.
similar thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, I know that we all know that I have rules. and and one of my rules with angels is that all of my tools are always cleared. So like once I connect with a deck of cards, I generally don't clear it again unless I feel that it needs to be cleared.
What about if
Because
the client touches them?
yeah, again, it's the same thing. Like part of my rule is that if my client touches them, that they're cleared after, because that's all part of the space clearing process. And I have that as part of my rule, that all of everything that I need to work and to function, including myself, my tools, my home, and my space, they're always constantly being cleared. And that's just the deal and the pact that I have with the angels. I said, hey guys, I'm happy to do this work, but this is what I need from you. Same with crystals. My
Mm-hmm.
crystals are always kept clear. I do clear them, but in general, I use them a lot compared to the amount of clearing that they get. And they're still really good and really functional,
Oh
because
yeah, mine too. Poor
it's part of the
things.
rule.
Yeah.
It's part
I
of the rule.
often think, oh my gosh, I gotta clear all these ones in my tub. I agree with
Yeah.
you completely. And I think Corinne may have lost her Swarovski crystal pendulum in the park,
Oh no. Jeez.
which means that she's going to get it back another way, or that wasn't the right pendulum for her.
And I was going to say, like, one of the things that you can use pendulums for, because it is a form of dowsing, is you can use it to help you locate things.
Crying.
Yeah, and so maybe part of what you're going to do is you're going to go to the park with a makeshift pendulum and ask it to show you where to go.
No one
Okay.
touched Barry's cards.
So let's pull a card. So my
Okay.
intention with this card, we're using the Archangel Oracle card deck, is to get a message that applies to all of us for 2023. And what do we need to know? Okay, we've got indigo and crystal children. And so here, I'll read the message. This is Archangel Metatron. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So I'm seeing that you have something ready. Do you want to hit me with it?
I don't think you want me to hit you with
Oh
it.
no, I know exactly where you're going with that.
Yeah,
No,
you do.
we won't go there. But I will talk about what this feels like to me. This feels like this is a coming up of indigo, crystal, rainbow, unicorn children. And to me, this is an indication of a deepening level of sensitivity and compassion and growth, and that there is the opportunity for us to grow on a bigger, more humanity-like scale.
I agree. I agree completely. And
Yeah.
I actually, when we talk about indigo children, these children, those children, this children, I actually think they have always existed. We're just identifying them now. And when that gets ignited, the ones who are already here,
Mm-hmm.
to my mind, this is why so many adults are coming out with ADHD diagnoses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Diagnoses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because I actually think they're leveling up
Mm-hmm.
because new humans are coming in that are of the same sort of
Yeah.
vibration, and their
Energy.
vibration is raising.
Yeah.
And because yeah, so I think it's a continuous thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would even say we need to all take care of each other, not just the tiny people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like the first wave of indigos that really came on like full force is recognized as having been born in the 70s, but there were definitely indigos before that, and that we just kind of keep changing and shifting and evolving. But yeah, I think that it's a call, as you say, to take care of the little ones, but also to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and each other too.
Yeah, because we all have a little one inside of us.
Yeah.
Some of us more than others.
So
Anyway, yeah.
yeah.
And okay, can you quickly tell Chris what an indigo is?
Yes. I'm so glad that you asked, because this is actually one of my pet peeves. What I just did is talking about something that's kind of nichey and then not explaining it. So indigo, we have indigo, crystal, rainbow, and I think there are unicorn children who are now coming in. And basically these are generations of people that have certain characteristics. So for example, things that really kind of typified in indigo children was this warrior feeling of, having a difficult time with injustice. So typically indigos kind of have a bit of fire, and they want to make sure that people are being fair and that things are just and supported, and they are very highly sensitive individuals. So they tend to also deal with depression because they see the ideal in their mind of what the world can be, and it's not external from them. There can be anger that comes with this as well, because they just want to see things better. They tend to be highly intuitive, highly psychic, and some indigo children also have a very high like electric energy to them. And so when they get a lot of shocks when they touch electronics, the electronics go kind of funky. When they walk under street lights, the street lights will sometimes go out. I mean, this is pretty extreme.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
not
I get electrocuted all the time.
not all indigo children experience that. Obviously, not all indigo children experience all of those things. But yeah, they're kind of. I'm hearing way shower coming up, and also the breaking of generational cycles. Typically, you'll see a lot of indigo children really focusing on that. Rainbow children. Rainbow is next, is the following generation. So there can be overlap. There's no like cut and dry. You were born in this time, so you're indigo, and you were born in this time, so you're rainbow. For example, I was born in 1980, and they saw that there were a lot of indigos who were still being born into the 80s, but I don't identify with that. I have more of the characteristics of rainbow children. So rainbow child will have similar types of psychic ability, will have similar feelings of injustice, but they tend not to go into anger. They tend not to go into warrior. They feel things really deeply. They're looking for ways of peace. They're focused on love and support. And crystal children come through with like purity. Like there isn't, it's almost like they're born without ego. It's really quite something. So we are starting to see more of that crystal child energy coming through.
Okie dokie. Just the indigo thing. My goodness.
Yeah.
All
we
right.
should do our namaste.
Yeah, do our thing. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chantel.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, and just to put it out there, I better go first so that you can talk to me, because
Yeah,
you're the medium.
I know, right? Well,
Yeah.
I'll make it so you can. You'll be like, why do I keep swearing? I don't want people to see it.
This isn't me. I think I've been possessed by Bobby.
I keep grabbing my boobs.
I have a Bobby in me.
I grab my boobs all the time. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, it's already happened.